Prince George's Community Television has been a media hub in the community for over 30 years, telling the stories that are important to you, our residents. We are proud of the work that our staff has set forth and are excited to present to you a look back at our 2025 CTV highlights.
Stepping into 2025, CTV set a standard of excellence and commitment to our residents to provide unbiased and honest news gathering, informative and entertaining programming, and training that provides anyone interested in the world of media the opportunity to learn. This has been an exciting year in our programming and production departments as we continue to bring our residents insightful and engaging programming that sparks community discourse for all ages and demographics.
Hey, Live Squad!
Welcome back to B&B Movie Reviews.
Welcome to the Prince George's County Office of the Sheriff Behind the Badge podcast.
Stick around. Extra Butter, please, is coming right up.
Fantastic Four took their first steps. Superman flew in the box office and won an award. Welcome back to the show.
Johnny was about to sacrifice himself to go into Galactus when she pushed him out the way, looked at him and zoomed off. Bro, I thought that was peak.
It's about his heart. It's about his humanity.
This actually feels like a movie that it actually has something to say.
We want to reach out to our community and make sure they understand the resources that we do have.
And you can really see changes that occur when you actually come together and share your voice.
There are masculine men who are raised by single mothers.
It's a lot about open communication. It's a lot about being real with yourself and being transparent.
Carolina Kitchen has become such a staple in the DMV.
I mean, do you ever sit back and say, wow, I've had such an amazing career?
Their new comedy series will give us a peek behind the curtain with some of the struggles that may have come to get those types of movies made.
As you can see, we have a lot of fun here at CTV. It has been a great year for programming, and we are excited to bring you new programming moving forward.
And with the development of programming, CTV wouldn't be what it is today without the involvement of our community through our public access training and volunteer programs, which have allowed our residents to share their creative vision and voices for the community.
There was so much happening in and around Prince George's County that affected and continued to impact the residents personally and professionally. So I personally want to thank the entire news team who have been there every step of the way, working diligently to bring you stories that matter to you.
Good evening, this is CTV News for December 1st. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Thanks so much for joining us.
This meeting on Saturday was originally meant to get written feedback from community members on data centers being placed in Prince George's County. But when attendees felt they didn't really have a say in the matter, the meeting turned into an uproar.
It's official. The government has shut down.
Prince George's County is taking yet another economic hit as Six Flags just announced its Maryland location is closing its doors.
State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy was elected as the new county executive.
We have all agreed that we are going to work together to serve you and not ourselves.
African American students and Latino students, on average, actually perform better than African American and Latino students in the state of Maryland.
Hey, boo,
lot of really good, successful programs here. And then you start evaluating the upside of the market and all the things that can happen. And you realize that Maryland could be the sleeping giant.
Let's go for 3. Good. And 2. Using that core. And 1.
The Department of Health and Human Services exercise recommendations are 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise.
Enthusiasts, the DC boat shows are back, and it's all happening here at the beautiful National Harbor.
We're in the kitchen with Danielle Edwards from Beyond Happy Hour, and we're making some Valentine's Day themed drinks.
Inside the Yard Milkshake Bar, and now I'm joined with Brittany Guerra, who is one of the owners here.
We've all been anxiously waiting for the Cowboy Carter tour, and it's touching down here tomorrow. The wait is over, guys. The queen herself, Queen Bee.
"2025 was an eventful year, from elections to government shutdowns and everything in between. But throughout it all, CTV News was there. I'm Byron Scott, and welcome to our 2025 Year-End Review Roundtable as we take a look back at some of our most important stories of the year. I am joined with fellow CTV News reporters Katira Jones, Michaela Newton, Jonathan Hunter, Simon Buggs, and Anaya Falcon. Jonathan, we got through that. Talk about your most important story this year and why you see that's the case.
Well, Byron, thank you for having us for this discussion. I think for me, a story that really stands out to myself is a story I did with a veteran woman named Cherie Bryant. She was a veteran who overcame a lot of obstacles in serving the military. She was sexually assaulted. She had to deal with some discrimination. And as a result, she had PTSD, and she had to go to therapy. And through all of the obstacles and the trials and everything she saw, she actually saw someone commit suicide. Throughout everything, she was able to overcome those obstacles and become a successful business owner.
So when she told you that, how did that impact you, that she'd seen somebody commit suicide?
It was definitely very, I don't know what word to say, but definitely very just shocking. And even when I put the story together and just having that soundbite, and the producers were in the control room and they didn't see the story prior. So when she mentioned that, and she was also whispering when she mentioned that on camera, I think it was just very shocking. I mean, that's not something that anyone should see, but imagine just seeing that and the shock of it all. It was just like, wow, very, very captivating.
Okay. So Ms. Jones, Katira Jones, talk about your most important story and why.
I think for me, it was following what was happening with Dakara Thompson. She was a young Prince George's County woman who went missing. Her family's really put her name out there, unlike a lot of other young Black missing girls, unfortunately. Her parents really pushed to try to get her name out there to try to find their daughter. She was ultimately found, unfortunately dead, and police have arrested the man who they believe murdered her, but that was really impactful for me to cover and kind of go through it with her family and with our community, because everyone knew Dakara because it was all over media. So yeah.
Okay. Michaela Newton, most important story, talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so I covered the Mandala School. Originally it opened some months ago. It's a private school in Bowie, Maryland. So we first covered this story of just the school opening in Bowie because they had a school in Columbia. But then I came up with the idea to do a documentary, so I was really, really excited about that. That's just something that's like new for me and just different for CTV. So just doing a whole documentary. We did a 20-minute story on that, and now kind of coming up with a docu-series to kind of showcase alternative learning in Prince George's County. That's really, really exciting for me. So.
Okay. Big sports man, Simon Buggs, a lot of sports going on this year.
Absolutely.
How do you pick what's the most important that you covered?
Man, most important story, I'd probably have to say one I did pretty recently. It was an interview I did with the athletic director over at the University of Maryland. He was hired back in, I believe, July, and he started in July, and that was an important one for me. One of my more fun ones too, because that was an interview. I think that might have been one of, if not the most maybe important people that I've interviewed up until that point. I talked to him about how he got the job and what his vision was for Terp Sports. So just to kind of get that insight of what his goals were, what his goals are rather during what his time as athletic director will be. That was really exciting, and that was definitely one of the more important stories that did this year for sure.
How was it this year for you covering the Commanders? I know you're a big fan.
Yeah, man, it was definitely had a down year. A lot of injuries. It's definitely been tough, but I gotta have faith that JD5 is gonna come back bigger and hopefully bigger, because he's definitely not the biggest guy in the world, which I do think contributed to some of his injuries. But if we can draft well, if guys can stay healthy, I think we can be right back on top of the NFC. So we'll see what happens in 2026.
Okay, Anaya Falcon, biggest story of the year, the most important.
Yes, for me, I would say the data center series that I did. It was just very enlightening for me. I was really happy to be on the front lines, really there to share the raw community voices and the real impacts that the data centers would bring to Prince George's County, being there for the unplanned protests, being there for the planned protests, being able to be the one that those protest leaders were reaching out to, giving insight that they might not have given to others, researching different bills and pulling things out from past years, and then holding county council members accountable for what they may have done previously. That, I think, was the most impactful for me.
Let's talk a bit about the approach to putting a story together. I always approach a story with wanting a lot of nat sound, if you will, in my story, let the sound bites breathe and that sort of thing. So I approach writing a story as if putting together a piece of music with a certain rhythm. What is your approach, Jonathan, when you go to a scene? How do you put it together?
So really, you have to really look at what you have. And we all know that as reporters, you have some stories where you have better video than others, you have better natural sound than others. So really, when I'm going to a story, I'm thinking in the back of my head, how am I going to tell that story while I'm shooting the story with a photographer? So when I'm doing the interview, I'm thinking about, okay, this is a good soundbite to use for the story.
And always, things don't always work out that way. You may have to change direction every now and then. How do you go about that, Katira? Change the direction if need be, if something doesn't work out just right?
Yeah, I think that's where collaboration comes in hand when you're collaborating with your photographer. It's like, maybe what I thought in my head, how I wanted to shoot a stand-up isn't gonna work, so let's collaborate with my photographer and let's figure out how I can best make my stand-up look good or make it punchy. But I think a lot of it is collaboration.
So Michaela, your approach to a story?
I think a lot of stories kind of tell themselves, and I think that those make for the best stories when you show up and there's already B-roll opportunities and things like that. I think you really just have to pay attention when you arrive to the story, like, okay, pay attention to what you see, what you hear, all those things, and then of course, on your way you can be writing your script, and just the best stories kind of just tell themselves. And if they don't, then you just have to kind of really just use your creativity a little bit, and like Katira said, just collaborate with your team.
So Simon is a big fan, once again. You like your team to win, but they may not be winning. How do you sort of put that on the wayside and concentrate on the story? How do you do that?
Absolutely. I guess it's just a matter of making sure to get all the facts right and kind of leaving your opinion out of it, because in news, it's fine to put your opinion in every now and then, but for the most part, the main objective is, I guess, is just to tell the viewers what happened as opposed to what you think should have happened, because you want to make sure, above all else, the viewer knows all the facts of the story and they know what happened.
So Anaya, talk about your approach. You go to a scene, what goes through your mind? How do you decide what you're going to put together?
I think it's important to help the viewer to feel like they were there. I think using those nat sound bites and bringing it to life for the viewer, letting the people tell the story, as Simon was saying and as Michaela was saying as well, I think is important. Not worrying about putting in your track and what your opinion is, but really letting the people tell the story and the sound and the visuals.
Let's talk about what we expect for next year. What do you think the big stories are going to be? A lot of things going on we haven't talked about. National news. What do you think the big stories will be locally and nationally next year?
I think obviously one of the big stories is, are we going to have another government shutdown? And as we know, this government shutdown was the longest in U.S. history, 43 days, and they did pass an extension. But in January, the reality of the situation is we could have another government shutdown. And I know in October, I was there in D.C. on Capitol Hill, and I covered it pretty extensively. So I think that's going to be a big one. And then also the healthcare subsidies, they are set to expire at the end of the year. So what's going to happen? What are lawmakers going to do? So I think those kind of go hand in hand.
You have that. You have the Supreme Court agreeing to look at the birthright citizenship or 14th Amendment. So talk here about what you think the big stories will be next year. Not necessarily nationally, but just what you think big stories in general.
Yeah, I think, all eyes are really going to be on County Executive Aisha Braveboy. She is filling the remainder of the former County Executive Angela Alsobrooks' term. So, Ms. Braveboy has filled her cabinet, so now it's really going to be all eyes on her. How is she doing in the job? Because she might just run to hold her seat. I'm not going to put words in her mouth, but so I think all eyes are going to be on her and how she's doing and holding her, just like every other politician in our county government, accountable.
So Michaela, talk about next year, what you expect to happen. On the news, you never know what's going to happen. With something's on the horizon, you can tell. What do you think is going to be the big stories next year?
I think the big story here locally for us in Prince George's County is definitely the budget again. I think we'll see a lot of changes with that, and especially with a lot of changes happening with leadership in the county. I think we'll see a lot of big stories with that. Calvin Hawkins just stepped down, and we've gotten new leadership within the county. But I think we'll see a lot of budget deficits again. So I think that'll be another big story.
Big sports news next year? What do you see?
For sure, especially on the high school side of things. First off, the Largo High School boys basketball team, they won the state title game last year. It's going to be interesting to see, what they do this year. A couple players did leave. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not some of those see if those young players can step up and help the team make another title run. And also the Eleanor Roosevelt softball team as well. 2 years ago, they made it to the state title game, did lose, but last year they come up short altogether of the state championship game. So that's definitely going to be when softball season does come around, it's definitely going to be a team I'm going to keep my eye out for, and viewers should keep their eye out for as well, to see if they can not only make a state title run, but maybe even win the big game as well.
I have to talk about the Commanders once again.
Oh, man,
what do you see happening?
Oh,
There's a lot going on. They're not going to go very far this year, obviously.
Yeah.
Season's pretty much over. But what do you see next year?
Next year, it's pretty soon. The draft is coming up. It comes up in April. My choice, I do think that we definitely need defense. So hopefully, whoever we do pick with our first round pick, it is a defensive player. And like I said, just the main thing is just health, man. Like this season, we have just been ravaged with injuries, man. Like I said, most importantly, Jaden Daniels, if he can stay upright, and we can also add more weapons on the offensive side of the ball too. I definitely think we can, like I said, get back to that. Get back to the top of get back to being a top dog in the NFC. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. Fingers crossed. Hopefully
we'll see.
We can bounce back.
And now talk about what you think's big stories next year.
Yeah, I think in Prince George's County and across the nation, data centers is going to be a hot topic. I think county leaders are going to be discussing and deciding on what the future will be for data centers, and community members are going to be responding.
Talk about the tension, though, because you have those who say we need them for the financial aspect, and those who don't want it because of the health aspect.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, there's definitely a lot of tension. People afraid that they would be placed in residential communities, and then others that are just worried for their kids, worried for the air quality, worried about the noise pollution and just how it will affect their property value. And then county leaders looking for a way to bring money to the county, and seeing that other counties are taking advantage of these opportunities and trying to find that middle ground when other people are saying there's no middle ground.
Could Prince George's lose out on this?
Potentially, but based on the reports, it looks like county council members are going to make the decision that they feel is best based off of the research.
Okay, gang, thank you very much for your insight. Appreciate it. And your hard work this year. Congrats. All right.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for our 2025 CTV News Roundtable. We want to wish everyone a very happy holiday as we look forward to seeing you again in 2026.
And Byron, before we go, we here at CTV just want to thank you just for your contribution to our CTV and particularly to our news department. You have been so valuable to our news department. I know everyone here truly appreciates what you have given us, the lessons and all that. So we thank you.
Is that why you sat there?
Well, we're besties. That's why I'm sat here.
I definitely want to echo what Katira says. You are the standard of excellence. You definitely come in and have that steady voice, someone who I can always talk to let's figure out what it was like back in the day, you know, definitely picking your brain on definitely different stories, you know. Obviously, we come from a different generation, but, you know, definitely learning your perspective on things, and it kind of helps us with our perspective on things as well.
Okay.
And I want to thank you as well, because I've came to you, you know, time and time again to look at my reels or to, you know, help me with references or whatever I may need, and you're just always there, so I really appreciate you.
Okay.
Absolutely, Byron. You're somebody that, you know, I've definitely admired from afar. Someone that I've definitely kind of looked up to is in terms of like how to be a, you know, a nice sound reporter, especially in terms of putting packages together. Somebody that I truly did study, you know, in order to put together a quality package, one that really, you know, tells the whole story. So I definitely appreciate all the work you've done for CTV Sports and for CTV News and and the work that you've helped instill in me as well. Appreciate you.
Yes, Byron, thank you so much. Honestly, you're legendary, and just being able to be in the same newsroom with you has been a real treat. Even when you're looking over my scripts and giving advice, you really have helped me as a journalist to look at things differently in a beautiful way. So thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Is that it?
Yes.
This was a setup, wasn't it?
2025 wasn't without its challenges. With the possible closure and shutdown due to the county budget cuts, your strong support of our community through calls, emails, and public hearings, you let your voice be heard. That allowed us to continue to be the voice for you, the people we serve.
And Thursday, Acting County Executive Tara Jackson introduced the fiscal year 2026 proposed budget.
We took steps to overcome a large deficit.
CTV News is one agency that will be potentially impacted by the proposed budget.
Taken together, what's going on at the federal level and what's going on at the state level, this uncertainty has an effect on us.
The station has been a launching pad for many careers, but it could all come to an end this fall under a budget proposal released on Thursday. CTV could be closed.
CTV is a community resource. If you lose that, who's going to replace it? What will replace it?
I'm reaching out today with an urgent message. CTV needs your help.
Fund CTV! Fund CTV! Your voice matters! Let your voice be heard! Your voice is important!
The seeds planted at PGCTV changed my life. They led me to creating work that won Emmy.
You lose a newsroom that looks like the community it serves. You lose cultural programming.
Hard-hitting local news and creative content will cease to exist.
Without community television, you have no one talking about what's going on in your lives, on your streets, around your corners.
So it is imperative that we save Prince George's community television.
CTV is here to help us.
You should think about the youth that are here. That's where people's lives start.
We are young people that we need the resources to grow and to learn more and better with our craft.
I really enjoy being here and I wish I can do it again.
Good morning.
For weeks, the Prince George's County Council has been working on getting this budget approved, and tonight, CTV lives to fight another day.
We want to give a heartfelt thank you to every resident, community organizer, volunteer, and our CTV staff for standing tall with us through the uncertain times we faced in 2025. So with gratitude, we say thank you for your support and unwavering commitment to Prince George's Community Television.
I am proud of CTV's mission, especially our youth engagement and our community outreach that reaches beyond the screen and into our neighborhoods. This holiday season, give the gift that keeps giving back. Give the gift of community, because together we rise and we can make a lasting impact in Prince George's County.
The programming here at CTV, Prince George's Community Television, is unique. It is a representation of the community. And I think that it's really important because it's one of the few stations where you actually get to hear the voices of the residents. Why give to CTV? I think that if you're looking to give back to a nonprofit organization that gives back to the community, it would be a great partnership. There are so many areas that you could have a direct effect on the community.
So you're giving back to a lot of the people that are like me, that are just trying to look for like internships or opportunities to help grow professionally and personally. I think I've met amazing people here that have helped me grow in my personal life as well as in my professionals.
Because this is like a hub for new people who want to get a job, for people who want to see if this job is for them.
But supporting organizations of this matters a lot to people like me, just because it allows us to gain the experience.
I would tell them how important CTV is, not only for the community itself as CTV reports on the everyday happenings and news to the residents, but also CTV is so important for the people who work there. They help them improve.
Our training classes, our internship classes. There's just so many ways that giving back could help the community.
Because CTV brings opportunity to different people who start here, whether they're an intern, whether they're just starting out, with this being like their first job and everything. It gives them a kind of a gateway into the type of field they want to get into in the future.
Give back to CTV because it's such a vital part of the community that constantly gives back to the people who are like me and want to be journalists, want to be broadcasters, and just want to improve. And CTV does that well.
CTV would be a great organization to partner up with because we actually are pouring back into the community. This facility is for the people and by the people.
We just wanted to appreciate you for a moment. We care about you.
No, you don't like the spotlight, but sometimes it's good to say things.
That segment seemed to go pretty well.
Yeah.
That segment.